In the last lecture, we briefly hinted at the fact that to add text manually is going to get a little bit tedious. So if we go in here to the first document and we tried to add text down the row like so. So if we tried to create a document right here, or like one text box here, and then tried to create a second one maybe to the left over here, they're going to be a little sloppy because I'm trying to just show this quickly. So yeah, just one right here. And now let's say we wanted to add some text from one to the next. So, we click on this first one, we go up into File, we go to Place, and then we grab our lorem ipsum document, which should be in the course resources. Click that, and it's going to place it in here. But okay, so now we need to link it into here to the next one. But now we have to create another text box, and if we want to link it downward, we have to keep creating more and more text boxes. And like I said, it just gets tedious, especially if you have a 50 or 60 page document. You don't want to be doing that. So what we can do instead is we can take care of this in our master. And the first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and jump straight up into our master. Let's make sure that this text box here is deleted, and then this one over here as well. And then we're going to jump up here into the master. And so what we can do is we can actually add our text boxes in here and link them inside the master. The first thing though that I want to do is I want to keep with the design here, and let's go ahead and create some guides so that we know where our text boxes should be. So let's give a little bit of padding to where our title is. Let's bring it down just a little bit and maybe like start our text right there. And then we want to do the same for the bottom of the page. We don't want it to go all the way down to the bottom. Let's bring it up to maybe right about here. So what we do is we go into our text tool right here, and instead of just drawing column by column, InDesign is smart enough that it understands that a lot of times we want to be putting text into one column, and the next, and the next. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the top left of here where the margin meets our guide. We're going to click here, and we're going to drag all the way across. Now this is going to create one giant text box that's going to move from here, so you're going to type and it's going to go across our margins. We don't want that. So we can go down to our keyboard and go to the arrow keys, and then click the right key once and twice, and you'll notice we have now 3 columns that we're creating. So now if we go down and we drag it to the bottom right over here, you'll notice that it lines up perfectly with the 3 columns we created earlier. And so now when I drop, it's going to create these 3 linked text boxes. So if I go ahead and click on the left one right here, you'll see that I can type right here, but I can't type any farther because these are linked. Basically what it does is it goes from top to bottom, then it cuts it off and starts from here to the next and here to the next. So we can just type text downwards, and then right when we get to the bottom here, it's going to jump straight up into the next column, jump straight up in the next column. But it goes even one step further than that. If we go back into our document, our main document right here, we can go and click on the Control Shift and click into our first column right here, and you'll see that it lights up like so. We can click on the text to make sure we're in the text tool, and then now let's go up to File, then go to Place, and then click on lorem ipsum right there. Click Open, and now you'll notice something. It didn't only link it from here over, it linked it on to the next page, and to the next page, and to the next page, until the 5th page where it stopped. So what it's doing is it's very, very smart. It understands that if we want them linked from here to here to here, it's also going to create a link from this one back into this one. But because there are pages going from one to the next and the next, it's going to create a link from here, and then it's going to draw one to here. So then it goes here, flows in the next, flows in the next. Then it's going to create one right down to the next one, and it's going to keep doing this until it runs out of text. And that is called text threading. And you'll notice that I needed 5 pages for this. I know at the beginning I said we had 4, but I kept creating additional pages while we were going over the tutorials. So it actually went all the way down to the 5th page. But Adobe InDesign is actually pretty smart in this 5th page. Even if I didn't have one here, it was going to create one for me. And let me kind of show you what I mean by that. Let's go ahead and try to delete this 5th page. Let's click on this and be like, you know what, we don't want this anyway. You'll see that this warning comes up. The effective page contains objects. Delete this page anyway. But then beneath it, it says InDesign will insert new pages to prevent overset text. To keep pages from being added, click cancel and uncheck smart text reflow in the preferences. What this is saying is that it's flowed the text up here. We've connected all of them and we told it, hey, we want the text to flow until it runs out of text. And because our lorem ipsum document is so massively large, the text flows all the way through and then it gets to page 5. It doesn't stop at page 4. So it's saying, hey, you still have text at the end here and we're going to keep adding it until you go into the preferences and turn this off. So watch this. When I click the delete key, it goes away. But let's wait for half a second. Oh, it's back. Because it realized, hey, there's still some text here and we're not going to let you do this. So you can actually only create one page right at the beginning. If we go back up here to the first page, you could create just one page and then flow the text put it in here, and it's going to create all the pages for you. So you don't even have to, know how many pages you need. You could go up, create a master page, give it a page number, copyright, whatever you want on it. Create this sort of dynamic where it's going to create the flowing, the threading of text from one to the next. And then just create one page here with the master of A selected onto it. Then click in here and start the text flow from here downwards. And what it's going to do is it's going to flow the text, and every time it reaches the end, it's going to create a new page. So maybe you had a 37-page document written up in a Word document or something like that. A lot of text written in a word processor. You can then place it, and it's going to do all the work for you. It's going to go ahead and design all of these pages, flow it all the way through, and then create the master for every single one of these pages. Maybe you didn't want this, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the opposite way, what it was trying to tell us right here. So let me go ahead and click the delete key, and let's read this right here. It says, uncheck the smart text reflow in the preferences type panel. Remember at the very beginning, we talked about the preferences panel. Sometimes you need to go in there, and a lot of times InDesign will tell you when you need to go in there. So if we didn't want it to keep recreating this page, because like I said, I can keep deleting this as many times as I want, and it's just going to come back. Every single time I do it, it's going to come right back. So maybe we don't want this text here. We can go up to File, or my bad, Edit, down to Preferences, and it said it was in the type one, so right here. But let's just click somewhere else, like down to here. And the reason I'm doing that is to show you that anywhere you click in the Preferences is going to bring you into the Preferences tab, and then now you just need to find type. And now we need to uncheck the Smart Flow, Text Reflow, right here. And so you see that this is the options that kind of go with this threading right here. It's going to add pages to the end of the story. You can make it add it to the end of the section, the end of the document, however you want it linked together. And then we can limit to primary text frames, delete empty pages. So for example, if I had a bunch of empty pages past this, I could click this button, and then when I insert it in, it would delete all the ones after it as well. Sort of a neat way if you're trying to, do the really fast approach to this. So we could turn off Smart Text Reflow right here. And then now if we delete this, we're not going to get a warning. And at the bottom here, it's just going to say that we have some offset text. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on because I actually really do like that feature right there. So let me just return that back on. But like I said, Adobe InDesign has a ton of these neat little features in here. So just, anytime you need to go to the preferences, they're there. But that is how you thread text from one document to the next, and how you save a ton of work of having to create all these pages and fill them with text. All you gotta do is create really just one page with that, where we just drag out and then you right click the arrow key. All you gotta do is create one of those pages in your master tab, your master pages, and it'll do all of the work for you. Really, really neat, really fun, and it really filled up this document quick, so now we can begin designing it even further.